All right, here we go. This is becoming cliche for me to say this, but I am really excited about today's interview. I have Aaron Kaufman, and for those of you that aren't familiar with Aaron, we'll talk about who he is and what he does. But for me, I feel like I'm interviewing a celebrity, being with Keller Williams for 5 years. I've seen you on stage, I've heard you, I've actually never seen you face to face. So Aaron, thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. So let's just get right into it. So tell us who you are, what you do, and maybe a little bit about what you did before real estate, what brought you in, and then where you are now.
Great, man. Well, I am self-titled Keller Williams Growth Coach. I've kind of created my own position within this company, sort of on the outside looking in. I'm not, and let me just say this for all your listeners. Any opinions or thoughts that I express today do not reflect those of Keller Williams International. And so now that I've said that, I guess I get to say what I want to say. But, I used to be a full-time agent, former Caldwell banker agent, came to Keller Williams here in Atlanta, Georgia, which is also coincidentally happened to be one of the most profitable markets of Keller Williams. And, was so sort of blown away by my experiences at this company as an agent that, and obviously the wealth building opportunity of profit share, because back in 2005, when I switched from selling full time to focusing on growing Keller Williams and building profit share, KW was ranked 5th in the U.S. We had 25,000 agents. Today we have 133,000 agents, and we're number one. So I feel like my timing was pretty good there, but I jumped in with both feet. I launched a website back in 2005, started recruiting like crazy, and had a lot of success with that. And then, of course, the real estate industry and the economy decided to shift on me, and that kind of threw a little bit of a monkey wrench into my early retirement plans. So I actually started to I developed a class that I started teaching for free in Atlanta, and then the word got out that it was a great class, and now I travel around Keller Williams all around North America right now teaching a class that I developed, and my goal is, to inspire Keller Williams agents to embrace the profit share opportunity and really to give back to this amazing company that's allowed me to create a life by design. And so I'm very big on social media. I am focused on not just teaching and coaching Keller Williams agents. I continue to grow Keller Williams and train specifically the people that I've brought to Keller Williams to do the same.
Interesting. Do you mind talking about the profit share model? Because I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of confusion.
Of course.
I talk to a lot of team leaders, new team leaders, and
Yep.
assistant team leaders, and I think there's a lot of confusion. Can you take us through what you tell people about the profit
Yeah.
share model? Maybe even how you would talk to somebody who's maybe at another company that's thinking
Sure.
about coming over. How that discussion would go?
Well, let me say something first, Mark.
Yeah.
Part of my class is always I say, we're the number one real estate company in the world, and that's a fact. We have more agents than any other real estate company out there. But we're still the best kept secret in this entire industry. And to be honest with you, Mark, you hit the nail right on the head. We're a bigger secret within our own company.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. That's very true.
So my focus, in teaching my class is let's try to focus on making sure our own agents know how we work first,
right,
before we try to tell people about how this company works and grow it.
Right.
So the biggest part of, so my message is twofold. One, I want to share Keller Williams with people that are not here. But I more importantly want to make sure the people that are already here actually know how we work. All right. So if I'm talking to Keller Williams agents or somebody at another company about profit share, the money is the last thing I talk about. I think a lot of people want to focus on the profit share money. It's real. Hey, look, 10, 15 years ago, it was an idea. I mean, last year we gave back $129 million in profit share. So the money speaks for itself. I think what people are really missing is the effect that treating your agents like partners, like stakeholders has on the value proposition of this company. And the bottom line is this, Mark, you have been in the business for, I would imagine, a while, just like me. There used to be only one kind of real estate company, and we call those dependent models. That was back when real estate companies controlled the information. And so agents would go to these companies because they spent all their money marketing their brands, and agents would go there and the companies would provide them with business and they would give up half of their commission for that. Then one day out came the independent model. companies like Remax, 100% companies. And so all the agents at the dependent companies that realized, wait a second, I'm the reason I do business, not my company. I'm just going to go to this independent company, keep 100% of my commission, control my costs, and all my clients are going to follow me to that company. Because, Mark, we know people hire real estate agents. They don't hire real estate companies, right? And when an agent changes companies, guess what? They bring all their clients with them, just like I did when I came from Coldwell Banker.
Sure. So
what Gary realized was the next evolution of the real estate industry is going to be to an interdependent model. And so when we talk about profit share, Mark, profit share is just one aspect of this interdependence. Yes, we share in the profits. Yes, it's tied to who grows the company. Absolutely. But if you never make a cent in profit share, this is still the best place for you to run your business at. Because what happens is, Mark, when you create a profit-sharing company, now the agents are all vested in a common goal.
Right.
In an industry that has always been dog eat dog. And anybody that has been at Keller Williams long enough that actually buys into our model and buys into interdependence and participates in our culture understands that that's the reason to come to Keller Williams. The profit share money is an effect of being at the best real estate company for agents that think like business owners. So, it takes time for a company that spends no money on marketing itself to share this story with agents that only know this industry working one way. And so that's the great thing about Keller Williams, Mark, is that we're the number one real estate company in the world, and we're still the best kept secret. Right. At some point, guess what? The secret's going to get out. Right. And I don't think people are going to understand how huge our profit share is going to be at that point. So profit share money is great. I don't really talk about it unless somebody really wants to get into how it works. It's so much more about the effect that it has on our culture, our training, and everything that we are as a company.
Right. I agree with you. I'm the productivity coach in our La Quinta Market Center, and we have an ALC like every other market center. Yep. And it's amazing to see how those that really do buy into the culture, the ALC members and others, really do buy into it, and they live it. They teach classes. Their door is always open. And I see that every day. Let me just ask you, because I think a lot of people, it is about the money. What are can you give me a few examples of people that have been doing this for a while, and not the people that got into it early? We hear the big stories, but what's kind of an average profit share of somebody who's working at it?
Oh God, don't even ask me that question, Mark.
I already did.
God, when I hear someone say whether it's a recruit asking me what's the average real estate agent make, if it's somebody who asks me what the average profit share check makes, you can't see steam coming out of my ears.
Yes, I can. Good.
I don't think. And I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm joking with you.
No,
It's a great question, because what you're doing, Mark, is you're representing what people who don't understand Keller Williams are going to ask. And the fact is this. Who cares? Yeah. Who cares what the average Keller Williams agent makes in profit share? Right. Are you average? No. The bottom line is this. 20% of us will always make 80% of the profit share. It's just that simple. And, put that in perspective, okay? So let's say we have 133,000, agents today, right? 20% of that is, whatever. Let's say that's, 25,000 agents, right? Mm-hmm. Well, 25,000 agents last year made $130 million in profit share. Okay, so I'm on track this year to make 90,000 in profit share. Wow. But the point is this: who cares what the average person makes in profit share? And the reality is, in the history of our company right now, Mark, the owners of Keller Williams Market Centers have given back to KW Associates over $713 million in profit share. Wow, now, last time I checked, that's $713 million more than every other real estate company has given back to their agents in profits. All right? But the best part about it, Mark, is in the next 5 years, we're going to give back more than that. Yeah. So, so I don't really have an answer for you, but I would say that the average capping agent, okay, and once again, that's nothing either. I mean, there's no such thing as an average recruit, an average market center. It's all tied to profitability. But I would say the average capping agent in Keller Williams is probably worth somewhere around $2,000 to $2,500 a year to their sponsor. And that doesn't even account for who they attract to Keller Williams. So do the math. My cap in Atlanta was $18,000. So basically, if I sponsored 9 people to Keller Williams, I'd be making 100% of my commission. I'd be making more than 100% of my commission. So, if all you made was $2,000 a year in profit share, Mark, wouldn't you take that?
Of course, of course.
I mean, what could you parlay $2,000 in passive income into GCI and marketing dollars?
Right.
Yeah. So it's real. Who cares what the average is? The fact is only 30 to 35% of Keller Williams associates even participate in profit share, right? So 65% of us don't even make any profit share money and still think this is the best real estate company.
Right.
Right.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think only 35%?
Sure.
Is it just the 80-20 just applied to that?
I mean, people. I mean, that's always going to be the principle.
Yeah.
But look, there's a reason I do what I do, Mark.
Right.
And I want to say this in a way that's not, pointing fingers at anybody. But you got to remember that even though we're this innovative, progressive real estate company, we're still built on the backs of traditional agents and traditional thinking people.
Right.
And we're only a 33-year-old company. And there are a lot of people who think this is 25, 30 years ago and who think, oh, God, let's not empower the agents to recruit. Let's not talk about profit share because people might think we're a pyramid scheme. Well, guess what? We're the #1 real estate company in the world.
Right.
If they think we're a pyramid scheme by now, it's probably because nobody they interact with at Keller Williams knows what they're talking about. So that's why I believe it's time to shift as a real estate company and say, look, the agents, they are dying to know not just how profit share works. They need to know how to communicate our value proposition at a high level. And if you're not going to empower your agents with our story, they don't even know how we work.
Right.
So, people are scared to empower the agents to recruit. Like they're going to go out there and start recruiting instead of selling real estate. Well, the fact is the ones that are trying to recruit are recruiting are doing it. And they don't even know what they're talking about. Right. So you might as well just tell them what to say. And, what I find that really shocks me, Mark, is how many people in our own company don't even know how we work.
Right.
And they don't understand that there's an incentive for agents to share ideas. They don't understand that we're vested in a common goal. And so my goal is as a growth coach is, let's make sure our own agents know how we work as we grow exponentially across the globe. Because if we don't deal with that today, I don't think we're going to represent, look like the company that got us to where we are today. If we don't make sure our own agents know our own story. So I think the answer to your question is the 80-20 rule, but I also think we're not doing a good enough job telling our story to our own agents.
Right.
All right.
I want to change the subject because I learned something about you that I quite frankly I'm a little embarrassed I didn't know, and that is the coaching side of your business and how you work with new agents, and that's really my focus. And I want to ask you a few questions. You mentioned Simon Sinek in an interview that you did, and I love his TED Talk and his book. And I want to ask you, what is your big why? What drives you to work so hard?
Well, I'll tell you something, Mark. My story is that I graduated from Emory University here in Atlanta with a sociology degree. That meant I was qualified for 2 career paths: either be a social worker and make $35-40K a year the rest of my life, or get into sales. And I jumped into corporate sales, and even though I'd always considered myself a natural-born salesman, the problem was, Mark, I didn't enjoy selling. Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest reason that I struggled in my sales career is I never found anything that I believed in enough to inspire me to work as hard as I needed to work. Now, that's what ultimately attracted me to a real estate career, because as you know, Mark, we are the product. As agents, you're the product. And so I think ultimately that attracted me to this industry was the idea, hey, in this industry, I'm going to be the product. All right. My big shift and my big why happened when I realized Keller Williams is a better product and a better wealth building opportunity than I ever was as a real estate agent. And look, I'm motivated by quality of life. I want to make as much passive income as I possibly can so that me and my wife can travel the world and do charitable stuff and not be stressed out about money. Look, that's my personal big why, but my business big why is I found something I believe in. and I'm passionate about it. I do what I do not just to make money. I actually believe this company is changing agents' lives and businesses. I think that my class and my coaching is impacting people's lives and businesses. And to be honest with you, Mark, I didn't see this coming, to be honest with you. I initially got into profit share, obviously to build wealth. I believed in Keller Williams. I never thought that I would get so much fulfillment out of what I do as far as helping people. And there's a quote that I love about Keller Williams that I use in my class, and they say, look, it's not about what you get at Keller Williams, it's about what you become. And I got to tell you, man, I'm all grown up, and I owe this company everything, because before I found this idea, I was flailing, and I found my true authentic self at Keller Williams, and that's really what keeps me going. I love what I do. I believe in it. I get fulfillment out of it, and yeah, I'm going to make a ton of money without having to work someday. And I'm going to move to the Virgin Islands with my beautiful wife, who's a wedding photographer, a professional photographer. And, maybe 10, 15 times out of the year, I'll take a puddle jumper over to San Juan and fly around North America and teach a class.
There you go.
And that sounds like a pretty good big why.
Good for you. You mentioned something that just really just struck with me, and that is that to being your authentic self.
Right.
I've also found that here.
Yeah.
And that is in coaching and helping others become successful.
Absolutely.
If I never sell another house, it'll be too soon, quite frankly.
Well, absolutely.
My goal is to help others. Talk to me about that. Because you see a lot of new agents come into your organization, into your company. What does it take in this day and age to be a successful real estate agent? Let's say I'm a new, not necessarily young, because we have older people that come in, maybe second or third career. So I'm a new agent. I come to you and I say, Aaron, what do I do? How do I get jumpstart? How do I jumpstart my career?
All right, 2 words. Lead generate. Okay, now look, let's bring that back, because you know how we work and what we are as a company. I mean, the bottom line is, Gary's already laid it out for you. Yep. I mean, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. Right. Okay, there's no magic recipe. The bottom line is you might be the smartest, best negotiating, best customer service real estate agent with a passion for wanting to help people. But if you don't have any clients, you're not going to make any money, and you're not going to be in the business much longer. Right. So as you know, Mark, when you enter the real estate business, you are not entering the real estate business. You are entering the lead generation business. Right. And top agents, the people that have the life that everybody wants to have, they think of themselves as a lead generator first and a real estate agent second. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of the people that I sponsored at Keller Williams, Mark, we're brand new, okay? And I'll be the first to tell you that, I brought most of those new agents in 05, 06, 07, 08. Okay, bad timing. Right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. When the market shifted, I felt like it was a conspiracy against me. All right. Sure. But the fact is, I lost 9 out of every 10 agents I directly sponsored to Keller Williams. Now, these people were brand new. All right. But here's the lesson, Mark. The ones that survived the shift, they're some of the top agents in Keller Williams today. Right. Okay. And what people need to understand is that, it's not about how nice the car you drive is, how much money you spend, who you know. It's about who's the most persistent and the most consistent with their efforts. And people want to ask me, what's your secret, Aaron? My secret is I'm the most persistent and I'm the most consistent. I'm not the best recruiter at Keller Williams. I've just shared our story the most. Right. And really that's what it comes down to. The bottom line is, and when I talk to people, Mark, I hear the whole spectrum. Hey, I have a full-time job. I want to transition into real estate. I have young kids. I want to transition into real estate. Right. Guess what? You're never going to transition into real estate. Okay? 9 out of the National Association of Realtors stat is 1 out of 10 brand new licensees are in the business 1 year later. Yeah. 3 years later, 1 out of 10 of those people are still in the business. That's 1 out of 100 brand new licensees are in the business 3 years later. Right. My guess is the one that made it wasn't the one that was keeping their full-time day job. Right. Okay. Right. And the fact is, I can tell you, there are many Keller Williams top agents, okay, who got into this business, who had multiple kids, who didn't have any money. They moved to a new town. They didn't know anybody. And 3 years later, they're doing, well over six figures a year. And it's because at night, when after they put their kids to bed, they got onto social media. They did blogging. In the morning, they wake up, they door knock. Okay,
Right.
they cold call expired listings.
Right.
They cold call, FISBOs. And the thing is, the reason they're successful is, first of all, most agents are lazy. Okay, and if they are going to try something, they eventually give up. And Gary would be the first person to say, successful people are the ones that fail and continue to try.
Right.
And so the truth is, when I talk to every recruit, Mark, before I ever set them up an interview with a Keller Williams team leader, we talk about leads, listings, and leverage.
Right.
Okay, and I do that to come from the mindset of contribution. All right, because I know, Mark, no other real estate company is having that conversation with them.
Right.
Okay, they don't teach you anything about
No.
anything in licensing school.
Right.
Every other real estate company will hire anybody that walks in the door with a real estate license. I want them to get off the phone with me and say, man, that guy just told me what it takes to achieve
Right.
what I want to achieve. So to give you an idea, Mark, in my conversations, I always start the phone call off the same way. I say, tell me your why, right? Just like you asked me.
Right.
Now, if the recruit says to me what we want to hear, which is what I would call quality of life, which is, hey, I just got laid off. I want control. I want an unlimited glass ceiling of achievement. I want time to spend with my family. I want to do the things that I love to do. I say, that's great. You're not going to get any of that until you generate your own business.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And whether you like that, want to hear that or not, I don't care.
Right.
Because my whole mentality is not please join Keller Williams. My mentality is, are you a fit for this company? And
Right.
if you don't want to generate your own business, yes, there might be a place for on a team for you. But, for the sake of every conversation I have, I'm talking about agents that want to be business owners. And the bottom line is, maybe your why is not big enough. Because if it was big enough, the how would present itself to you. And that how is very simple.
Right.
Generate business.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And, and I'll just give you an idea, Mark. I mean, my first 2 years in the business, I waited tables 6 nights a week. Okay? I wanted to be available to my clients during the day. I wanted to be able to pay my bills. Okay? I wanted to be able to participate in the training and the education that Keller Williams offered. And if you work a 9-to-5 job and you can't participate in any of that. Now, I'm not saying you can't be successful,
Right.
but you're going to have to be exceptional
Right.
to build a real estate career to a point that you can transition out of a full-time job without, fully committing to it, right? So
Sure. Do you ever get frustrated by the people that you bring in that don't make it? Does that frustrate you?
I have other frustrations, Mark, that I shouldn't share on this.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't want you to.
Okay.
Don't get in trouble.
You know what? If you follow me, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not frustrated because my 20% is not hand-holding agents' hands that come into Keller Williams, okay? And Mark, sponsorship is not mentorship, all right? Sponsorship is a reward for growing Keller Williams. I've already earned the profit share I make off of you because I've introduced you to the best real estate company for your business. It's the culture of Keller Williams that is going to nurture you. Now, with that said, yes, it behooves you to make a difference in your recruit's life, right? You're vested in their success. Sure. If you can help them, my guess is they're going to be more productive and be at Keller Williams for a longer period of time. I get that. And by the way, I reach out to every one of the people that I sponsor to Keller Williams, and I say, look, I'm here.
Right.
Okay? I'm your sponsor. Reach out to me. If I could ever help you in any way, I'm here as an asset for you. And the day that you ever want to get purposeful about profit share, yeah, I'll be there for you too.
Right.
But the point is this, Mark. If I never hear from them again, you want me to keep begging you to let me help you?
Right.
Okay? But for the ones that get it and reach out to me, I'm the best sponsor in the world. Right. Now, with all of that said, Mark, my 20% is adding people to Keller Williams. Okay? Right. My 20% is not hand-holding people to make sure that they survive in this industry. The point is, if I'm the reason you're successful, good luck.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's a great point.
So, yes, I'm frustrated. Of course I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated that not every Keller Williams market center is run the way that my market center is here in Atlanta, okay? Right. That not every Keller Williams office follows the model, that not every Keller Williams agent understands that they're vested in everybody in this company and not just people in their profit share tree. Because if I feel like we were delivering on our value proposition at the highest level, I think my retention rates would be a whole lot better.
Sure.
So
Wow.
I can't, a valuable lesson I've learned over the last couple years here, Mark, is that you can only control what you can control. And what I can control is adding people to Keller Williams.
Right.
And I can't control keeping them.
Right.
Yeah, I'll do the best I can to be a resource for them. But at the end of the day, they got to want it more for them than I do.
Right.
You know?
I love your passion. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Very, very great. Hey, so a couple last questions. I know you're a busy guy. Sure. I don't want to keep you too long.
I'm not that busy, man. That's what passive income is so great.
Beautiful.
All right.
So two questions for you. One is one word that you would use to describe the reason for your success in real estate or in recruiting or in what you're doing now in teaching and mentoring. You only get one word. What would that word be?
I got two words in my mind.
I'll let you use both. I'll let you slide.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, passion is number one. Yeah. Obviously, you got to love what you do. You got to be passionate about it. But I'll be honest with you, Mark. The other word that comes into my head, desperation. Okay.
Explain that.
Okay. I mean, dude, I was before I came up with this idea 11 years ago, that would put me at age 32. I was a fairly mediocre real estate agent. Okay, I was a 32-year-old man with lots of potential. Right. Okay, and when you start to get into your mid-30s and they're still talking about potential,
right.
Yeah, that starts to become a little pressure on you. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I come from a family of all PhDs. All right, I'm the entrepreneur, and at age 32. I was the broke entrepreneur with a lot of credit card debt. And you start to question, am I just BSing myself? When is the switch going to be flipped? So I'll be honest, when I jumped into profit share with both feet, okay, I stopped selling real estate. Okay? I wasn't making any profit share. I wasn't selling real estate. Desperation, man. That's a very powerful motivating tool.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I believed in Keller Williams. I believed in what I was doing, but there's a huge component of faith that is worked into having big success with profit share. So the way that I've always worked is I'm all or nothing. I always have been. I always will be. And the day that I decided I was going to jump into this, with both feet, I stopped selling real estate, Mark. And I got to this point where I said, okay, how are we going to get out of this mess? Well, the only way I'm going to get out of this mess is to recruit my way out of it. So when I talk about desperation, I mean, failure is not an option.
Right.
And some people need external motivation. And I'm ADD. I mean, I could tell you, it took me 32 years to find something to make me work as hard as I needed to work to be successful. But the great thing about ADD, Mark, is that there's also an OCD component of it. And once you find your passion, the OCD part takes over and you're unstoppable. But until you find that passion. And by the way, just a little message for all my ADD listeners out there.
I'm one of them, by the way.
Okay.
At 53, so don't feel bad. You got a long way to go.
All right, guess what? There is no magic pill that gives you passion.
No,
all right? And to be honest with you, ADD is a gift, man. Yeah. It is a gift.
I agree.
When you find your passion, that's when the gift of ADD presents itself to you. And so for me, I was just struggling. Nothing motivated me. It really was a search for finding something that I believed in enough to really make me tap into that side of me.
Man, I want to jump up and down. That is great stuff. And I think it really is go back to what you said. It's about finding your authentic self.
Absolutely.
And when you found that, sky's the limit.
I mean, Mark, I don't know if you've ever sold something you didn't believe in.
Oh, yeah.
Or you took a listing that was overpriced that you weren't excited about. I mean, who feels good about that? I mean, I'm not one of those people. Okay, I don't know if that's Jewish guilt or what, but if I don't believe in what I'm selling, forget about it. All right? I'm not going to be successful doing it.
Right. And I, when you were talking to, it comes to mind what I think Tony Robbins said: people are successful through either inspiration or desperation.
Oh, I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's great. My last question.
Yeah.
And I love this one. So if you could place a call to your 20-year-old self, you're going to call 20-year-old Aaron and give him some advice.
Yeah.
What would you say to your 20-year-old self?
Well, besides don't accept that credit card application they were giving out on the college campus when I was there, that would have been a great lesson. Don't spend money you don't have, because it took me many, many, many years to get back to zero. But I mean, look, Mark, it's going to be the same conversation we're having right now, which is, look, find your passion, man. I don't care what it is. I mean, I'll give you a great example. My wife is an amazing photographer. I mean, like she's a legitimate business photographer. I mean, she shoots not just many weddings, but shoots for museums and all this stuff. But look, at the end of the day, she's an artist, and she's built this amazing business. But she's an artist, and really, when her true happiness will be when she's not an artist in a business owner's box.
Right.
When she is being an artist
right.
for the sake of being an artist. And one of the great things about Keller Williams and Profit Share and A Life by Design is that someday maybe that's what she can do because she has that option to do it. That just popped into my head. But my point is, if you're an artist, you're not going to be successful by trying to make money.
Right.
You're going to be successful by focusing on being the best artist that you can be, and then the money will present itself, you know. And, I think too many people use the money, for example, Mark, profit share. I mean, we talked about Simon Sinek, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Right.
The profit share money's a what, okay? It's dangling profit share money out there as a carrot for our own associates and for people to join Keller Williams. It doesn't drive behavior. What drives behavior, what motivates and inspires people to attract people to Keller Williams is they actually believe that this company is going to make a difference in these people's lives. And the money, that's a product of a bigger why. So finding something that you believe in, and having a why that's bigger than money, that's the way to go. And so telling my young self, back in the day I wanted to be a stand-up comic, but I was so scared to be on stage that I never pursued it. The great thing about Keller Williams, Mark, is now I speak in front of 100, 150 people, and the day that I ever want to go back and be a stand-up comic, I can be because I've actually overcome that fear. But I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point.
No, that's good because
I
think fear is something. And when I talk to new agents, that's what stops 95% of them at the gate.
Absolutely.
They're afraid to pick up the phone. They're afraid to knock on that door.
Yep.
And there's a guy named Jeff Thompson who created this fear pyramid. And so what he did was, I don't know if you've ever seen that. He started with his least fears at the bottom, and he would address those fears one by one, like it was spiders and the next and the next.
Yeah.
And he would conquer that fear. And I think I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you, Mark, real fast. One thing that pops in my head is, at the top of my fear pyramid for many years, I'll tell you what was there: success. Fear of success. And, sometimes when you struggle for so long, you're more comfortable in failure than you are in success. And,
that's true.
Giving yourself permission to accept that you are successful. I used to always say, God, someday when I make all this money and I'm successful, I'm going to meet the woman of my dreams, right? And boy, it's going to be great. Well, guess what? When I met my wife, when I was waiting tables 6 nights a week, and she didn't love me for how much profit share money I was making back in 2008 because I was not making a lot because the market had shifted. So, my point is, you just got to stay true to yourself and understand that you have to give yourself permission to be successful. And, success is not about money.
No, I agree.
I used to quantify it like that, because when you're in sales, it's hard not to quantify your success without looking at your bank account.
Right.
And I think that's been the great thing about, quote unquote, the journey. And by the way, when people tell you enjoy the journey and you are in the journey, you don't want to hear it.
It's not very enjoyable.
No, it's not
enjoyable. Until you get to the end and you realize you're on a journey. Yeah.
Exactly. But I think the exciting thing about right now is I've given myself permission to see myself as a success, and the money hasn't really popped quite yet. And I think that's been the biggest aha for me, is that I'm already successful.
Trust me, you're a great success, because there's guys like me out here who have been kind of lurking around and following your career.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of me that when I had the opportunity, I was like, oh, I got to talk to him. So you're successful. Trust me.
We're building a little bit of some momentum within this company that I hope will address some of the things that we talked about, Mark, which is, look, I can't do this myself. You know what I mean? Like, I've tried to do it. As much as I love being a disruptor and a troublemaker.
I sense that from you.
Yes. I'm also the son of a Jewish mother, Mark.
We both are.
I do want approval. Okay. Believe me,
That's right.
As much as I disrupt, I want approval. I think what I've come to realize is that look, together everybody achieves more, right? It's the essence of Keller Williams. I can't do this on my own. I need everybody in this company to start thinking like a stakeholder, because, it's going to be those people that, help that agent in my, an agent in my downline that's in their market center that needs help. It's those people that need to step up and help that person too. Because if we all act that way as stakeholders in this company, Mark, guess what? We're all going to make more money.
Right.
We're all going to have better lives. And that's what makes us so unique as a company, is that we're all vested in this business. We all have an ownership stake in Keller Williams. And I just want to make sure everybody understands that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. Man, that's really good stuff. People keep asking me, what's my purpose in doing these? And I kind of struggled. I've done a few of these. I said, listen, I'm just interested in finding guys like Aaron, gals out there that are just, doing some great stuff and talk to them. So again, I really appreciate your time. So if people want to get a hold of you, or they want to have you come talk to their market center, how do they contact you?
Well, obviously, we have that very powerful mastermind group on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, just search at the top for KW Profit Share Mastermind Group. It's got over 17,000 Keller Williams associates in it that are purposeful about profit share. And, Mark, I can tell you, man, I am one of those people who responds quickly. And there's not one message or one email that gets past me. So I'm very approachable. I always tell people, hey, reach out to me anytime. And, of course, a very small percentage of people do that. So, the reason you do these videos, Mark, let me just say this, you learn something, okay? Teaching, you learn something. Sharing ideas, you learn something. And, these kind of experiences are going to make you not just a better person, but also a better recruiter. Right. When we share ideas in this company, it validates our belief in this company. And that's why I do what I do, is that if you're not a culture person, if you don't buy into this, you're not going to have any success in profit share, because how do you communicate the number one value proposition of being at this company if you don't participate in it? All right. So kudos to you. And I'm going to be using a lot of your content on my site to generate more recruits for Keller Williams. So let's keep this thing going, man. And let me know if I can be of any help.
And what's your website?
My website is moving-careers.com. Moving-careers.com.
Good. All right. Hey, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Have a great weekend, and let me know when you move to the islands. I'll come visit you. You're going to need a wingman. So
and by the way, let's get me to La Quinta, right, to teach my class.
I'm going to talk to Laura Clark, our team leader, for sure.
You got it.
All right, buddy. Have a good weekend. Thank you so much.
Take care, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.